4th and goal to go to 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. Only next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's totally free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, very top link, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. I thank you in advance. And then finally, just underneath that, somewhere in the description box, there's another link, takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 10,600 members in the group, and it is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group down there 365. It's called the New York Giants, The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, guys, here we are. This is like, I guess, the official hump game, right? Eight games going up. You got the hump game, and then you got 8 games. Usually, the way Giants, it's all downhill, right? Once we hit that hump, it's all as we're going down. You know, the roller coaster ride's going down in flames, right? And everybody on is burning. We're all dying and everything like that, trying to jump off to our deaths and all. All we have to look forward to as we're coming crashing, burning. Usually, in the second half of the season is. We're looking down on all the pretty draft picks that we get, right? So, but unfortunately, the official halfway. The Giants got a very late bye week. This it's unfortunately, hopefully not, but if you want to be truthful about it, by the time the bye week, usually it's like halfway through the season, even maybe early on, you still got a chance, you're still in the race and all that stuff and everything. And you get that bye week and you get maybe a couple guys back or so that were nicked up or something, but it's by the time the Giants get their bye week, it's, luckily, at least we're home. The Giants have, and especially with Jackson Dart in control, has given the crowd a little something to cheer about, at least at home anyway. He's given us all something to cheer about, a little hope for the future, right? Even though, it's looking at another losing record. But at least we've played well at home, and the last time we played at home, against the Eagles was rather nice, 34-17 whooping of the defending Super Bowl champions. But this week we got the 49ers coming in. It's a big game. Every game is big, but this is a huge game for the 49ers as well. They're 5-3. If I counted right, I think there's 7 teams, I think, that have winning records in the NFC. The 49ers are one of them. They're 5-3. They will also want to try to keep pace with the Rams and the Seahawks. So it's a very, very, very important game. The 49ers had a bunch of injuries. I mean, they got backup quarterbacks in there, and they're still 5-3. All right. So if it comes down to coaching, I think we're in a lot of trouble here. Shanahan's a very, very good coach. Dable is Dable's a head coach, yeah. But Shanahan's a very good coach. So if it comes head, right, we might be at a disadvantage there. it's a good possibility. Hopefully, the Giants should be able to score some points in this game. Keep it exciting. What we're going to see from the Giants defense, who knows? What we're going to see from Dexter Lawrence, who knows? When Carl Banks was kind of calling him out, Dexter took offense to that. Of course, you figured he would. Everybody on the Giants team, the Giants coaches are all defending Sexy. And, absolutely, I'm sure. They just do what they're supposed to do. Right? They're saying the right things. But there's times, Dexter Lawrence, like last year, was getting double teamed. And he's like pushing, he's in the backfield, he's eating up quarterbacks. We're seeing this, right? He had 9 sacks in 12 games. I mean, we're not seeing that this year. Not sure if his elbow still causing him some kind of concern or exactly what's going on, but we're going to go over the injury report, and it's both teams have some injury concerns, right? So the Giants should be able to score some points in this game, right? The 49ers don't sack the quarterback a lot. The 49ers don't necessarily pick off a lot of passes or what do they have? What do the 49ers have there? Oh, see here. Interceptions. I think they have one. What do they have? Interceptions. I don't know. Oh, my bad. Yeah, the 49ers have one interception. Not that the Giants can't be jumping for joy, but the Giants only got 4. The Giants don't have a lot of turnovers either. Neither team really has a lot of turnovers. So neither team is, living and dying, with their defense. If our offensive, if we got the offensive line, Dart should be able to hopefully move the ball, right? The 49ers, let's see where we're at. Defensive wise, I said they only have like 9 sacks on the season. Or is it 8 sacks? Sacks, what do they got? They have 9 sacks on it. So they're averaging 1 sack a game. That's not a lot. The 49ers, they don't run the ball particularly well. So something, might be one of those things where something might kind of give. The 49ers are averaging 3.4 yards a carry. Even Christian McCaffrey is only averaging 3.5 yards a carry. But then on the other hand, the Giants defense is like the worst as far as stopping the run. So something might give. The 49ers been scoring some points with the backup quarterback. Is it what the Giants? What you're going to see from the Giants defense? Once again, who knows? The Giants defense said we're going to go over the injury report. They're totally depleted in the secondary. So could be should be a very interesting game. Turnovers are going to be huge. Really, huge. All right, what do we got here? And McCaffrey has not, he's gotten yardage just from sheer volume of running the ball, but he's not averaging a lot per carry. But he does have a lot of yards receiving. He has, I believe, over 1,000 yards already. He has 490 and 5. Yeah, he has over 1,000 yards already, halfway through the season. So he has he has about 1,049 yards already, halfway through the season. So at that rate, he's on pace for about 2,100 total yards. What's he got? 3 touchdowns. He has 6 touchdowns. So he has about 500 yards rushing and a little over 500 receiving. He's on pace for 1,000 and 1,000. So he's going to be a key especially since they don't have Deebo Samuel anymore. Brandon Ayuk's he's been injured since I think like it's been a while. So and the Skittle man just came back. So you look at them. What do they got? Kendrick Bourne. What is it? McCaffrey is going to be huge out of the backfield. He has 56 receptions. He's averaging 7 receptions a game, almost 2 receptions a quarter. And he's also averaging 10 yards a reception, too. So basically, every time he gets the ball, he's averaging a first down. Kendrick Bourne is 28 receptions. They don't really have anybody else, anytime real big hitter who's just gobbling up all kinds of receptions. They got Kendrick Bourne. Ricky Pearsall has 20 receptions. Jake Tongs, I guess that said his name correctly, he's 26 receptions. Jennings has 18 receptions. Kyle Jusic, their fullback, has 13 receptions. Kittle has only played in 3 games. He has 8 receptions. So he hasn't really, but he's a very good blocker, though. All right. All-time series, the Giants at 2-6 will host the 5-3 49ers. This will be the 36th regular season meeting between the two teams. They last met week 3 of 2023 in San Francisco. Giants' last victory over the 49ers came in 2018 when they defeated them on the road 27-23. The Giants will wear their classic 80s era blue uniform and rebrand the stadium to include their classic helmet design at midfield and vintage red end zones with the Giants block lettering. The vintage white and legacy uniforms are a homage to the 1980s when the franchise won its first Super Bowl. So the Giants here. Now, yeah. Don't know why, but they're going to be going into the game. And, of course, they have – let's go. McCaffrey's going to have a field day. Yep. Yeah. I am sure McCaffrey will at least have 100 yards. Especially out of the backfield. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Not one bit. Can't argue with that. Now, the thing is, the Giants have not elevated. We're going to go over who they brought up from the practice squad in just a bit. But once again, they're going into the game with 2 running backs. I'm not sure why they don't want to elevate Turbo Miller, but they're going into the game with 2 running backs. So the Giants lost more than just the game last weekend, obviously after losing Cam Skattebo. Through 8 weeks, Skattebo leads all rookies in total yards from scrimmage with 617. And, of course, the first couple of games he didn't play a lot. He was the backup. So if he had started and played all, and if he didn't get hurt last week, he'd probably have well over 700 yards, if maybe closer to 800 yards if he played in the first couple of weeks and if he didn't get injured last week. And it's not too bad. I mean, he'd probably have close to about 800 yards total offense in 8 games. Skattebo would be on a nice, he would be exceeding what Tyrone Tracy Jr. did last year. I mean, you can't complain. Tyrone did a phenomenal job. Of course, Tyrone didn't play, wasn't the starter at the beginning of the season. He accumulated over 1,000 yards between rushing and receiving last year. Skattebo was on pace to exceed that. The backfield will now turn back to Tyrone Tracy Jr., who began the season as the starter before a week 3 shoulder injury sidelined him for a couple weeks. In 6 games, 2 starts this season, the second-year back has gained 159 yards on 45 carries with 10 receptions for 68 yards and 1 total touchdown. As a rookie 5th-round pick last year, Tracy racked up 1,123 total yards of offense with 6 touchdowns. Tracy's, Van Roten said Tracy's a really good football player. He kind of got sidelined with an injury earlier in the season, so we're just excited to get him back to form and kind of build on what he did last year, because I think he's a better player this year than he was last year. Now, the one thing that I do like about having Tracy back is where, unlike Skattebo, is Tracy can take it to the house. Skattebo can take it to the house, but on his way to the house, he's going to have to run over like 4 or 5 guys. We know it's the one run that Tracy had against the Broncos. Takes it all away. He had a couple good long runs last year for the Giants. So if you're able to give the guy an opening, he can take it to the house. And we're talking about containing McCaffrey, right? In last week's loss to the Eagles, the Giants gave up a season-high 276 yards on the ground. Saquon and Tank Bigsby, the future Hall of Famer, the top 10, one of the top 10 greatest running backs of all time, Tank Bigsby, got over 100 yards rushing. I mean, absolute joke. I think the Eagles average it was over 8 yards a carry they averaged. But I was a little misleading because, one of them was the tush push with the fumble that we didn't get because everything just, nothing went the Giants' way that last week. But I think the Eagles had a couple kneel downs, they had the tush push. So basically, when they turned around and handed the ball to the running backs, I think the running backs averaged over 9 yards a carry last week. I mean, so basically, like every time they ran the ball, they picked up a first down. Last week, the Eagles, they're running 276 yards rushing. Was more than 2 of the game. It was the Buccaneer game and the Chiefs game. They had less total offense, the Eagles, total less than 276 yards in offense than the Giants gave up the running game. I mean, last week the Eagles was the first time all season the Eagles offense actually outgained their opponent. Took to the 8th game of the season before the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles, actually outgained their opponent. A.J. Brown wasn't in there. They had a backup center in there. Their offensive line was a little nicked up, and we couldn't stop them. Absolutely unbelievable. Heading into Week 9, the Giants are surrendering 5.7 yards per carry, the highest mark in the NFL. We're giving up almost 6 yards a carry. The defense will have yet another difficult matchup this week as the unit tries to slow down Christian McCaffrey. The 29-year-old is averaging a career low, only 3.5 yards per carry, as he's gained just 490 yards on 140 rushing attempts. But also, that's very important as well, too, especially if you got a backup quarterback in there. You just can't abandon the run. You got, even if it's 3.5 yards, you gotta keep it to run. The numbers will look even worse if it weren't for his 129-yard performance against the Falcons in Week 6, a game that saw him score 2 of his 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. Despite his limited success on the ground, McCaffrey has still registered 7 games with 100-plus total yards from scrimmage due to his excellence in the passing game. The talented back ranks second in the NFL with 56 receptions, while his 559 receiving yards is the 8th most. His 1,049 total yards from scrimmage are only 7 yards shy of Jonathan Taylor for the most in the league. Now we got to keep an eye. They say players to watch. Obviously, Jackson Dart, through 5 starts, Dart has completed around 60% of his passes for 984 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions for a passer rating of 90.8. Not too bad when you don't have any wide receivers. He also had 195 yards and additional 4 touchdowns on the ground. This led to him being named the NFC Offensive Rookie of the Month for October. After his performance last weekend in Philadelphia, he became the first quarterback in Super Bowl era with 8 or more passing touchdowns, 4 or more rushing touchdowns, and less than 5 turnovers in his first 5 career starts. The best way to keep McCaffrey, George Kittle, and company off the field is to sustain long drives, which starts with the rookie quarterback. Now, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to watch. Trent Williams, the guy is just he's like a truck. He's huge, and he's nasty too. Versus Brian Burns, the Spider-Man. It's going to be interesting to watch. Burns heads into this matchup tied with Myles Garrett for the most sacks in the NFL with 10. Williams has allowed 36 pressures on 320 pass blocking snaps for an 11.3% pressure rate, according to Next Gen Stats. Now, that's not good. So, he's been around for a little while. I don't know if he's banged up, but he's just. He's a big dude, big, huge dude. This is not one of his better seasons, though. This is the 10th highest rate among left tackles with 100-plus pass block snaps and the highest for Williams since at least 2018. Prior to this season, the tackle had not allowed a pressure rate above 8.4% in any season as a member of the 49ers. The Giants are going to need Burns along with Kayvon and Abdul Carter to get pressure on the quarterback and set the edge in the run game. We have to keep an eye on George Kittle. Then, of course, the Giants have for a long time have always had a hard time covering tight ends. Now, Kittle only has, the Dodgers just took a 5-4 lead. Boy, I'll tell you what, if the Blue Jays wind up losing this World Series, they can just kick themselves in their own rear ends. They just line up one after everybody just kick each other in the butt as hard as they humanly possibly can. They had bases loaded with one out, tie game in the bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded on, and couldn't push a run across. So they wound up blowing this World Series. It's all on them. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, I do apologize. The Giants, for the longest time, have a hard time covering tight ends. And although Kittle only has 8 receptions on the season, he's a very good blocker. But, don't let that, deceive you. He's a very good tight end. So he's somebody to keep an eye on. Him and McCaffrey. After a quiet return in Week 7, Kittle caught 4 passes for 43 yards in his second TD of the season last week. In 2 career games against the Giants, Kittle has scored 16 passes for 173 yards. Jackson Dart has completed 67.8% of his passes for 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 101.4 passer rating when not pressured. And I said the 49ers do not get much pressure on the quarterback. On plays that he is pressured, Dart's numbers dropped to 46.2% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and a 72.4 passer rating. Heading into Week 9, the 49ers have pressured opposing quarterbacks on only 25.9% of the dropbacks this season, which is the lowest rate in the NFL. Giants need to take advantage of that. Big time. All right. What else we got here? Yeah, Mac Jones will probably be the starter. Brock Purdy is questionable. But he's been doing a good job for him. And can the Giants pass rush get any kind of pressure? That, obviously, which would wind up being huge because we're going to go over once again the injuries. The secondary is kind of missing. So the Giants are going to need, obviously, hopefully, to control the run game. And if they can get some pressure on a quarterback, on Mac Daddy Jones, that would be huge to take some pressure off the secondary. Because if they can't get pressure, if Mac Daddy Jones can just stand in the pocket for an hour and a half, sooner or later, somebody's going to pop open. It should be. I mean, obviously, you never know how good or bad the refs are going to be. Is it all going to be one-sided, where they take points off the board? Well, they gave the Eagles points last week. They took points off the board for the Giants. Yeah, is it going to be that way for the Giants for that, or is it going to be kind of an even keel kind of game? It's going to be a couple bad bounces here or there. You don't know. Turnovers are going to be huge in this game, but there's a good chance the Giants could score some points. So even if their defense is MIA and they can't stop anybody, they should be able to at least put some points up on the board and keep it interesting. Once again, it's any given Sunday, anything can happen in the NFL.